Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 14. And today we're talking about popcorn. Now, you're probably saying, why in the world are we talking about popcorn? Well, let's talk about it, right? But before I jump into that, let me tell you a story, right? So there are two boys, and some of you guys may have heard this story, but bear with me. So there's two boys, and there's a father who's dying. And there are different variations of the story, so I'm just telling my variation of it. But there's a father who's dying, and he says to his two sons, listen, I will give you a choice before I die. I'll either give you $10,000 a day for 30 days, or I will give you a penny and you can double it for 30 days. And the two boys think about it and they make a decision. One of the boys chooses the $10,000 a day. The other boy chooses the penny doubled every day for 30 days. And my question to you all to start off is, which one would you choose? Man, I wish you guys could tag me and tell me which one it is on Instagram or something. Let me know. Send me an inbox or a message or something. I want to know your answers. But especially for those who haven't heard this story, but here's how it goes. The boy who does the $10,000 a day, after 10 days, he's at 100 grand. So he's looking good. And, the boy who takes the penny doubled after 10 days, he's not looking so good. He's not even anywhere close to looking like he's earned anything, right? But then again, the second 10 days, the one boy is at 200,000, and the other boy, he's still not looking good, right? It's like chump change when you compare the two. But then something happens in the last 10 days. The first boy is tapped out at 300,000. But let's take a look at what happened to the gentleman, the boy whose penny is doubling. Well, on day 29, he's at $2.6 million. And then on day 30, it's doubling to $5.3 million. And so who's laughing at this point? Certainly not the first boy who took the $10,000 a day, because he's tapped out at 300,000, while the boy who keeps the penny doubled, he's at $5.3 million. And so, you might wonder, how in the world did a penny doubling every single day turn into to $5.3 million in 30 days? And it's just the concept of compounded interest. They call it the eighth wonder in the world. And so that's kind of the message with this is, why is the title popcorn? Well, there's this training that one of my partners does, and I love this training because he talks about when you put popcorn in a microwave and what is it supposed to pop for, like 3 minutes? I just did this kind of talk, if you will, with one of my business partners, and I think it really might have helped. But think of it this way: you put the popcorn in the microwave, and then you go ahead and hit start, and you take it out after 10 seconds, and you're like, wait, hold on, let me take a look at it and let's see how we're doing. And then you put it back in, like, well, it's not done yet. And then you just put it back in, take it out, put it back in, take it out. And it's kind of like this constant stopping and going and stopping and going. Guess what's going to happen with the popcorn? You guessed it. It's never going to pop, right? And so that's what a lot of us do in different areas of our life. It's like we start, we stop, we start, we stop. Hey, listen, I'm no different. I may be steady and consistent in some areas, but there are other areas where I gotta get back on track with the consistency. And so, it's something that we're always going to be working on. But sometimes if we can just identify this situation or the challenge, we can make it better, right? And so I'm conscious and aware that, there's these two books that I love. One is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, and he talks about this concept. And then there's another book which is pretty much the same philosophy, the same thought process, um, called The Slight Edge, by Jeff Olson. And so I like The Slight Edge because the definition there that he says is the act of doing things, the small things that seem to make no difference in the act of doing it, and doing it over and over and over and over until it compounds itself. Right. Another good way of saying it is, hey, just doing the little things until something big happens. And so don't be like the popcorn, where you just put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. But why not just let that thing cook so that you can actually get the actual popcorn, right? We have to embrace consistency. It's one of the major codes to freedom, because if you're not consistent in anything, then you'll never see the fruit that you desire. There's so many. I can give you uh, so many like comparisons and stories about consistency. Matter of fact, let me give you one other quick story that I think is super powerful. One of my favorite stories. Some of you guys may have heard it. It's about the bamboo tree. And this one really resonates with me because I feel like it's my life in a lot of ways. But you plant this bamboo tree, and you have to water it every single day, and you can't miss a day. You gotta water it every day for it to grow. The problem is you water it, you water it, you water it, and nothing's happening. You're looking, you're looking, you're looking. There's nothing happening. I mean, the plant is not even coming out of the ground. And this goes on year one, year two, year three. And guess what? People are laughing at you at this point because they're like, why in the world why are you still watering that plant? Nothing's happening. I mean, just give it up, right? But you have faith and you just keep watering it. Year four, and guess what? Year five comes around, and it finally peeks its head out of the ground. And in 5 weeks, it grows to 90 feet tall. And the question you might ask is, did it take 5 years for it to get to 90 feet, or did it take 5 weeks? And so the thing is, you might, if you were to really kind of do some analysis on this, the reason why it took so long for it to come out of the ground is because for any tree to go that high, it has to have some really, really deep roots. It has to have some strong, deep roots. It has to have a strong foundation to support this 90-foot tall tree, right? And so that's why I love this story, because a lot of people don't see what's going on underneath the surface of what you got going on in life. Like they don't see the consistency. If you are consistent and maybe you don't see results, just keep doing it. Just keep at it, right? And that's what I think where people get faked out is that they are doing work inconsistently and they aren't seeing the results all the time. And it's so easy to get faked out. But trust me, the guy, the kid with the penny double, he was getting laughed at after 10 days and after 20 days because it wasn't really looking so good for him, but over time, hey, again, he was the one that had the last laugh. So the compound effect, the slight edge, I like to say this too. Big doors rest on little hinges. Sometimes it's just the little things that you do consistently over and over and over. And the thing that's so crazy about this is that time will either promote you or expose you. So it's like if you um, ate a Big Mac today, and you're not gonna just fall over and die because you ate a Big Mac. But if you ate one of those things every day for the next 6 months, you're gonna have some serious problems, right? And so the point there is that in the act of doing it, it doesn't seem like much, but over time, it's everything. And that's why I say time will promote you or expose you. Again, the key to this is that you find a way to be consistent And even as I'm talking, I'm thinking to myself, I gotta be a man of my own word, and I gotta get consistent in some other areas, right? Like, hey, I read my word every day and I pray, right? And I'm sure you do too. And I work on my business, and I spend time with my family and relationships and spiritual and things like that. And listen, we have all these different areas that we gotta cover, right? So success in one area doesn't mean success in another area. We have to be mindful of all areas because they all matter, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. But we all have that one area of weakness that we tend to slack on. And if we just do some consistent things, even if it's like, let's just say it's in the health arena or it's in the exercise arena. Um, what if you stop trying to think about 50 push-ups and just started focusing on 10 every single day, right? Or, if it's in the hey, if it's in the personal development department where you're trying to work on yourself and grow, instead of thinking about reading a ton of books, just think about reading 10 pages of a good book a day, right? That's what the slight edge is. That's what the compound effect. It's just doing the little things and doing it over and over and over and over while people are laughing at you until something big happens, and then watch you open up some doors of freedom in your life, because now it's going to start compounding. It's going to start looking effortlessly because you've been doing it so long. It's a habit. It's just what you do. By the way, plug, that's another episode right there in and of itself, is habits. We'll talk about that. Boy, that's a topic. But the point today is just that we stay consistent, that we stay consistent in the thing that we want. And listen, in order for you to be consistent in a thing, you got to, number one, know why you're doing it. What's the reason, what's the driving force behind what you're doing? And once you know that why, and you keep that why in front of you, then you'll stay consistent, right? So, I hope this was a valuable episode for you guys. It's certainly valuable for me. The thing that I love about these podcasts is that, like I said, I'm not talking at you, I'm talking with you. So we just having a conversation. And as I'm speaking, it's almost like the spirit is, speaking through me and speaking to me, right? So we get to just kind of grow together. That's what I love about this podcast, is that I'm just being led, and we all get to grow. So again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys got some value. Feel free to give us some 5-star reviews. Give us some tag us on Instagram, all that good stuff. Uh, I love the people who send me messages and tell me how this really impacted them and stuff like that. It really means a lot to me. So I appreciate you guys for taking a listen, and we'll see you all over the top. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.